All right, Aries, this is a very intimate time. This is also a lot of focus on the past. There's going to be a lot of emotional support that's likely going to show up for you. And I imagine that you and somebody are likely going to have a very deep discussion about things that have transpired, specifically around things that maybe you or them have assumed, and how moving forward and letting bygones be bygones can be the best course of action for the both of you. So, without further ado, if you are new here, welcome. My name is Violetta Alexis, and I've been a tarot reader for 5 years. If you're not new here, you already know me. Welcome back. Obviously, I am happy to have you. So, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, show me Aries. Show me Aries. The past position, so I'd say about mid-October, is the Ace of Wands. You seem to have been very motivated to do something. Maybe you're ready to start finally like journaling. Maybe you're ready to go on social media. Maybe you're ready to learn something. Maybe it was something more physical. Maybe it was intimacy. The Knight of Swords, this is very the Five of Wands reverse. It looks like you were ready to ask some questions in order to resolve some kind of issue that maybe you were dealing with a specific person. Don't let your past hold you back. So maybe that is what it was. Maybe you felt like your past was holding you back, or some kind of past conflict. Maybe it was conflict within yourself. Maybe it was a confidence issue. You guys don't usually have that issue. But maybe it was something else. And so I feel like that's exactly what you weren't going to do. You were not going to allow your past to hold you back. In the present position, aka late October, we have the Six of Cups. So it looks like you have some support here from somebody. We are seeing this grand water trine between Mars, and then Mercury will do it again, and then Saturn and Jupiter in Cancer. And so there's a lot of water energy going on here. And so we could find that we are being gifted with some kind of influential person in our life, somebody who understands us at an emotional depth, etc. So I feel like maybe you're going to hear from somebody. Yeah, Queen of Cups, Cancer energy. You guys may end up hearing from somebody here pretty soon if you haven't already. If you're already in a relationship, it seems like it's going really, really well. For some of you, there could be a same-sex relationship here. I'm gonna have to take a look at that because I don't want to speak too soon. The mutable energy is here, so there's something. So once again, it's mutable is Gemini, Virgo, Pisces, and oh my God, yeah, Gemini, Virgo, and Pisces. And so here it may be asking you to be fluid. It may be asking you to kind of go with the flow, which we can see in this grand water trine, right? So it's asking you to do something of that nature. We have the Five of Cups in the first week of November with the Seven of Swords reversed. If this is you, Aries, I would be cautious of saying anything that you might end up regretting later. Okay. For others of you, there could be a confession that's coming from somebody that may have a guilty conscience. And then we have the Fool. Okay, so not for nothing. It looks like there's a brand new beginning even after all of that. We have planning phase. Take a step back and plan the necessary steps to move forward so you may turn your goals into a reality. So it's kind of like out with the old and in with the new. If there is something that you guys need to kind of get off your chest, I feel like you just need to go ahead and do it, okay, within reason. But after that, it's kind of game time. It's about more strategizing, not focusing on the past anymore, and moving forward. So let's go ahead and clarify this mess. That Ace of Wands in the past position. The Ten of Pentacles. There was a huge focus on your legacy and like what you wanted. So this can be like money, this can be a relationship. This is basically like, where do I see myself in 10 years and how can I acquire that? I feel like there was basically damn near nothing stopping you, at least not from within. You may have had some kind of external influence, and or maybe some kind of past issue holding you back. For instance, maybe it was that you wanted to apply for a business loan, but there was still some debts that you had to pay off. And you're like, okay, how the hell do I get this business loan maybe without paying off my debts? Or how do I, because the Knight of Swords can be like, we have a lot of questions. I'm trying to figure something out. So how do I get this relationship while still hurting inside from my past one? How is it that I can create a better reputation for myself, even though maybe in the past I didn't create such a good reputation for myself, right? So it could be kind of something like that. But it seems to me like there was something that was established. There was something that you got started on in mid-October, and it looks pretty good. So that Knight of Swords. with the Knight of Cups reversed. Okay. In my opinion, from what I can see, I mean, there may have been something that maybe upset you. Maybe it made you jealous. Maybe it made you insecure. I know nobody likes to hear that, right? Especially not in Aries, I'm sure. But there was something that may have triggered you from an emotional level. And it could have been from another person. It could have been from something external from you, maybe from your past, whatever. I don't know, but you definitely were trying to cut through the shit, basically. Excuse my French. Okay. You were trying to cut through it. And so I think that you probably got some clarity about where those feelings were coming from, or maybe why a person was intentionally trying to make you jealous, or whatever it is. If for others of you, it could just simply be where, you were once idolizing a person or a certain situation, and you're like, you know what, I gotta be fucking honest with myself, right? This is really like you cut through the fog with something that you may have been deluded about, to be honest, before. And with that Ace of Wands and the Ten of Pentacles, this is like taking very realistic steps in regards to your future and being very motivated to have tangible or create tangible results for yourself instead of like, focusing on some kind of pipe dream. So then we have the Five of Wands reverse, the Four of Cups reverse. I actually really like this. I don't know what you were doing in mid-October, but it seems like you were doing it right. The Five of Wands reverse likes to show up when we're not interested in the drama. We're not interested in arguing. We're not interested in putting our ego pants on and, fighting or arguing with a bunch of fools, which is just going to make us dumber, right? We're not doing that. The Four of Cups reverse can be like, you know what? I don't need to do this. I don't need to feel sorry for myself. I don't need to XYZ. So to me, this is maybe you taking the more peaceful route. Okay. Someone like you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But it seems like it worked in your favor. The devil for don't let the past, or don't let your past hold you back. So, the devil can represent some kind of toxic cycle in our life. It can also represent fears. So, maybe you want to be some kind of motivational speaker, but you've always been afraid to speak in front of people in public. Okay. And now you're like, you know what? I got to get over that, honestly. And I think that you guys, if you didn't totally overcome it, you're still overcoming it now. You at least, you know, took the initiative to be able to work through those things, and something wasn't holding you back, or that thing wasn't holding you back anymore. Maybe it was a person, it really depends. So I like it. Let's go ahead and take a look at the present position. So this is going to be late October, which is where we're at right now. These cards want to work with me here. All right. You want to see the levers at the bottom of the deck? Why are these not? Hello. Okay, there we go. All right. On that Six of Cups is the Page of Swords reverse. So if you were like assuming the worst, maybe you felt like somebody was mad at you or something like that. I think that you're going to find in late October that is certainly not the case. For others of you, if you were concerned about maybe where you stood with another person, you weren't really sure, maybe you were making assumptions, etc. I feel like you're going to be given quite the gift this month in late October, and maybe it's around Halloween. I'm not really sure. This is Sun and Scorpio after all, so I feel like something that maybe you weren't entirely sure about, that you felt like you didn't know, you can finally understand now. So the Six of Cups is where we're being very vulnerable with another person. It can be where we are receiving or giving a gift to another person. And so if you felt like you were lacking some level of information, it feels like it is being given to you. Okay. And it's something that I feel like you really need to hear. It's something that's probably going to warm you up. It's something that's likely going to make you feel a lot better about a situation that maybe you were confused about in the past. Okay, and so that to me was very positive. We have the Queen of Cups with the Temperance reverse. So, like I said, if you did not feel content in an emotional situation, or how you and another person left things, or whatever it is, if you felt like something was imbalanced, you may actually find that that is not the case. So let's just be super cliche, and let's say that this was about a love interest or an ex or something of that case, right? I mean, we do have all of this retrograde energy. Jesus help us, right? But This can be a time where this person, like maybe you thought they hated you, maybe you thought they were mad at you, maybe you thought they didn't love you anymore. You can hear from them, and they may end up kind of reassuring you that that is not the case. They may tell you that, a family member died, God forbid, right? Or, that they were afraid of something, or, they were very sad about how you guys left things, or they were embarrassed or shameful, whatever it is. But it's going to benefit you ultimately. It's going to make you feel a little bit more at peace with where things are, or where things were, or where you even thought that they were. Because to me, I think that you guys were potentially being a little bit impulsive, and maybe assuming certain things about a person that maybe are not necessarily true. Now I'm not saying you didn't have every right to believe it, but it seems like you're being reassured. It seems like you're being reassured, which is like sometimes that's all we can ask for. So we have this Queen of Swords with the Queen of Pentacles. Why is the Queen of Swords reversed though? The Two of Cups. So again, I think, if I see a lot of feminine energy here. So for some of you, maybe it is a same-sex relationship. Okay. For others of you, if you're a man and you are dealing with a couple feminine energies here, I think it's maybe time to figure it out, right? Okay. But I see, regardless of where you're at or whatever, that Queen of Swords reverse can represent a person who is feeling too emotional to the point where they're not able to stabilize their own emotions or their own thoughts. And sometimes they can project onto other people. And the reason being that the Queen of Swords is reversed is because of the Two of Cups. So this can be where we're needing some kind of emotional fulfillment, emotional validation, or that reassurance, like I was saying, and we felt like we didn't have it for so long. I see that something is becoming a bit more grounded now. Maybe if you're this Queen of Swords reverse, in the way that you're thinking about a situation, you may feel a lot more grounded, especially if you start like taking better care of yourself. Not saying you don't take good care of yourself now, Aries, but there's something here about the way that you nurture yourself. The way that you put yourself first is going to be important. And then that way, if you put yourself first, then you can love others all the same. And so I think that if you were feeling like you were emotionally disconnected from a person, I think that's why that Queen of Swords reverse can kind of show up like that. Then we have, for the mutable energy, we have the Hangman. So again, I think that you kind of lacked perspective in regards to an emotional situation. And I feel like in the past you made a very quick decision. You may have made a very impulsive decision to act on something that made you feel uncomfortable, which is like, I totally get it, right? I'm very impulsive. Um, but now I feel like something is changing the way that you think about how you handle things. There's a sense of surrender. There's a sense of being more malleable. There's a sense of you being able to let go, and almost there's almost like a humility here. Not saying you need to be humbled, but sometimes if we can gain the perspective of another to understand someone else or even ourselves or a situation better, like great, right? And I think that's kind of what you're getting. So now let's go ahead. If you guys hear like a bunch of work stuff outside, I'm at my parents and they're getting like their driveway paved. So hopefully you guys don't hear it. I do, and it's really annoying. Whoops. What wanted to come out? The Eight of Swords wanted to come out. So in the near future, you may be a little bit stuck in regards to something. Let's see. The five. Whoa. The Five of Cups with the Ten of Swords. What is this? Why is that Ten of Swords here? Six of Wands. So again, there's this reminiscing about the past. There's a lot of you thinking about the past, and again having some regrets. And I asked, well, what are the regrets? And I got the Ten of Swords. Well, for some of you, you guys may be sad that you ended something. You may regret betraying someone, to be honest. Okay, for some of you, if that's not it, then you know it's not for you. There may be a lot of sadness or regret around not ending things sooner, or about the way that you went about something, maybe, is kind of what I'm getting. The reason for the Ten of Swords is the Six of Wands. I don't know if somebody like made a big show out of an ending, or there was like some kind of public ending, or so like maybe you and somebody else were on social media and like you guys had this big blowout publicly, or who knows, whatever it is. It could also be that somebody here really wanted some kind of attention, and that could have caused a bit of a riff between you and somebody else. Okay, but why are we regretting things? The Tower reversed. I need one more. The Sun reversed. This is when we get our ego in the way, if I'm going to be honest with you. This is when our ego can get in the way. This is where we can become a little bit pompous. And maybe we say things that we regret, or, maybe we're sad that we didn't let go sooner. That can be it too. Maybe we were just holding on because of ego. I mean, it's really going to be unique to each and every one of you because all of you are different. So again, it's either that you actually regret ending something, or you maybe regret how you ended it, or for some of you, you regret not letting go sooner. Okay, to be honest. And there's nothing you can do about that now, right? But sometimes it's good to reflect. The Seven of Swords reversed for the future thing here. The Seven of Swords reverse, this can be where we have a guilty conscience about something. Why do we have a guilty conscience? Whoops. The Four of Swords. It doesn't really feel like a guilty conscience. The Seven of Swords isn't reversed, isn't always about having guilt, although the Five of Cups heavily represents that. The Seven of Swords reverse can also represent where we're like, okay, I need to put the focus back on myself. I need to focus on me. And I say that because the Nine of Wands is here, and the nines can talk about the self and individuality. So to me, especially with the Nine of Wands and the Four of Swords, it seems to me like you're kind of protecting your space because you need to. You need to do that for you. I think that there was something that was incredibly challenging here, especially from an emotional perspective. I think I'm a little confused, to be honest with you, because this, like, late October or whatever, like it looks really beautiful for the most part, but then something happens in November where it's like, oh, in early November where it's like, oh my goodness. And maybe it's something to do with that full moon in Taurus that we're having. I think it's on November 5th. Maybe it's something to do with that, maybe not. But there's something that happens where maybe even if you do like get back together with a person, let's say, maybe there's a lot of discussing about the past. Maybe you are being very honest about you feeling like you needed to assert some kind of boundary in order to protect yourself, and what else can you do besides be honest? So I do feel like there's some honest conversations coming about, but I feel like it's going to eventually get to a more positive place. Then we have the Fool with the Ten of Cups, which leads to some kind of romantic relationship or some kind of emotional fulfillment. So it's like we have this moment in the past where maybe we acted impulsively, or maybe we didn't act impulsively enough, right? Whatever your story is, and then things come together. We get a new perspective. We have an understanding. There's mutual love. There's a conversation. There's vulnerability. These assumptions that we've had before, we kind of clear the air, is what I'm getting. And then in the near future, in the beginning of November, there's maybe confessions and a different kind of vulnerability, a vulnerability that where we bear our shame to another, or we bear our regrets to another. And I think that this is healthy because it's leading to something bigger. It's leading to letting bygones be bygones, and being able to come together with another person as our whole self. Um, And then we have planning phase, Five of Swords reverse. I need one more. The Seven of Wands. Take a step back and plan the necessary steps to move forward so you may turn your goals into a reality. Okay. It's still maybe saying that you need to stand your ground with somebody. Okay, don't play any games. Don't um if somebody else is playing games with you, don't stoop down to their level. Okay. It can also be saying that you may be needing to assert yourself in a way as well. There could be something that you're trying to strive for, so that way you can move forward. It's telling you that you have what it takes, but it is going to be maybe it may feel competitive, or it's going to require a lot of maintenance, whatever this plan is, but it does say that you can do it. So let's go ahead and I can't remember if I pulled extra oracles for you guys. I'm just going to do it anyway. Don't let pride get in your way. Oh no. And then we have Jupiter. Well, Jupiter expands everything it touches and it makes it bigger for better or for worse. And then we have Flame of Courage. Wow. Look at all this fire energy. Ignite the flame of courage, lighting the path of bravery amidst shadows of fear. Wow. So when it says don't let pride get in your way, full moon in Leo, it may be saying like pride very well may get in your way. Okay. Pride very well may get in your way in the next couple of weeks. And it's asking you to take the higher road. It's asking for perspective, once again, which we were seeing that with the hangman, if you remember. And Jupiter can be about our higher mind. It's our faith, it's our optimism, it's our higher beliefs, our philosophy on life. And it's asking you to be brave in that endeavor because it's very obvious to me that an evolutionary process is happening for you. And it may feel a little, I don't want to say humiliating, but it may feel a little humbling. You're like, damn, I can't believe I can't believe I acted so impulsively, or I can't believe I, said this, and I was getting that before. And so it's going to teach you a new way of expressing yourself. It's going to teach you a new way of maybe dealing with some level of conflict. And so it's asking you to be brave. It's asking you to be brave even in the face of maybe some humbling situations. Okay. So thanks a lot, Aries. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you will like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you guys want to book a personal reading with me, you can do so on my website at www.violettaalexis.com. If you would like to book a scheduled session with me or text and or call spontaneously, you can do so at hipsy.com/violettaalexis. All of that information can be found in the description box below or in the pinned comment in the chat. Thanks a lot, you guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Have a great mid-October.